Hello everyone, back to another edition of the Ottawa Market blog where we sometime get into social commentary. Now, this is going to be a social commentary on comments made by Pierre Poilievre that Canada was broken. No, what's broken is not Canada, but in my view, based upon my experience and involvement as a insider in Canadian politics for almost 40 years, what's not broken is Canada. As Canadians, and I can tell you, most Canadians can speak to the strength that we have as a society and a community and how resilient we are in the face of the type of adversity we're facing with Mr. Trump and his craziness. What's really broken is not Canada, but our leadership. And there's perhaps no easier way of trying to figure this out than this book by Mr. Carney. Mr. Carney values building a better world for all. Now, this is a nice looking cover, and just looking at this cover, I would expect to find, and many Canadians out there expect to find, discussions about healthcare, about poverty, about various social problems, all kinds of issues that we face as Canadians, and a vision. But when we look at it, let's look at it and see what happens when we look at this book. When we look at this book, we don't see any of the type of things which I would expect us to find in this sort of book. Instead, we find stuff about the financial crisis, stuff about COVID, stuff about the market society, things you would find in an economics 101 textbook, and then it goes to values-based leadership, which in my view is pretty. I checked out that chapter; it's pretty vacuous. Doesn't say much in there, other than the usual political professings that we know from Mr. Carney about what his principles are, which is not much more than not particularly inspiring. Investing for value, how Canada can build a better value for all. Again, there's nothing much more than discussions about capitalism and globalization and how Canada can build a more so-called benign version of globalism. So I can tell you that there's no vision here. It's nothing to do with previous liberal leaders, which talked, like Pierre Elliott Trudeau namely, which talked about the vision of society. There's no vision about liberalism in terms of justice, rights, civil society. Is all vacuous. And we'll go to part 2 of my video.